Alright, this is The Invisible Man, issue 1 by Jim, Timothy, Eve, and Dani. No surname. Dani. Dani Minogue, I'm guessing. She will have got jealous that some people call her sister Kylie instead of Kylie Minogue. So now she is just Dani. This is published by Image Comics and Slayerbound, part of their Universal Monsters line. I only know one other comic that is part of the line. Well, I can guess Frankenstein and Wolfman are probably comics as well. The same writer of this does the Dracula one though, and that is the only other one I am aware of. The thing that I wanted to know was if we were going to be doing a straight up adaptation of the H.G. Wells novel, or maybe a modern update to it, or if this was going to be something that took the idea of the Invisible Man and explored it in a different way. There are other comics that have done both those things, and I will show some here in a feeble attempt to see if anyone says they want to know more about one of them, because I do have them. Something else I have is a comic right here with my most hated writing trope. We start at the middle of the story and then do a flashback to show us how we got there. I suppose it did kind of do it in the original novel. Well, that was more like a section in the middle. There is Griffin, the Invisible Man. He is having a tab, a cigarette. Tab is a soda pop over there in America, isn't it? Tab Cola. He wouldn't look anywhere as cool if he was holding a tin of pop, would he? Speaking of people holding tabs, whoa, I want to have it off with January Jones, don't I? Oh, it'd be a bloody tragedy if she wasn't visible to my eyes, eh? Right, yeah. It is his origin. I think that is maybe what we are going for here. We are deeply expanding and exploring the origin of the Invisible Man and how Griffin, well, I said in the review of the one other Invisible Man comic I looked at, what I love about the original movie, the 1931 movie, no, 1933, isn't it? I love how evil he is. He's just a proper dick. Like he would push hard women down a flight of stairs and steal a baby's rattle. Wonderful character, just a total bastard. The idea here, I think, is showing how he was always a wrong 'un. And that's alright. I don't view Griffin as a character that needs exploring. The charm is that he is unrepentantly, cartoonishly bad. I don't think it is a rubbish idea to show that existed before his discovery. And I really am so happy, unbelievably happy, that we're not trying to explain it away as a result of some personal tragedy or whatever. He's still just a dick. The writer of this is Jim Timothy Eve. You will maybe know his name from a variety of Batman books at the DC Comics Company. He has written a lot of Batman since the New 52. Batman Eternal, Detective Batman, Batman, Joker. He created Punchball, a new character that was actually a bit popular. His favourite character is the John Blake version of Robert. He also did Dark Justice League and other comics that are not coming immediately to my mind. He does creator-owned horror comics like Summer is Killing the Children and The Nice House Down by the Lake, or something like that. Exquisite Corpse's Mum. The artist I have seen their name crop up heaps doing variant covers for stuff. Batman, Catwoman, Tiny Titans. I think she has done a Goth Girl cover. I remember that one. Oh, Obsolete Wonder Woman. She did a variant for that. So saying all this, I have no problems with our creative team. And if you think I'll still find something to complain about, well, the lettering, the lowercase f looks too much like a lowercase t. Griffin also has a Mrs. Flora. She comes from the movie. I don't think she is in the book. She was original for the movie. I prefer the movie. I have seen the movie a dozen times, read the novel once. In the book, he's kind of driven mad from the drugs. But yeah, this is Universal Monsters, so it is the movie rather than the novel. Flora, her dad, they are from the movie, not the book. They might be named in the book, but they are not characters in that. They obviously invented Flora or gave her a bigger role in the movie to ground the story a bit and have a more apparent protagonist, I guess. Even though Griffin is the protagonist, he is not the hero or anything like that. That remake went all in on the idea of the girlfriend as the protagonist, and then fucking cast the wrong one from Mad Men. The art is very reminiscent of Sailor Tim. Sailor Tim, but darker and with more shadows. It's like if Bill Son of a Bitch tried to ruin Batman the Long Halloween, but he got booted out of the office before he could finish absolutely destroying the art. Say statements like that. That is why I get dislikes. People want to hear about the Invisible Man, not me saying I despise everything Bill Son of a Bitch has ever touched, and that I want to marry January Jones. Here we go. Before he has even taken the drug, Griffin is ideating about murdering people he knows. Not his girlfriend, but the page before, his inner monologue was pretty blunt in its opinion that she is intellectually inferior to him. Our main motivation with Griffin, and this works, I am fine with this, it is his own sense of superiority. He hates his inferiors, and he thinks everyone is his inferior. And really, what this scene here shows is that those that we have framed as antagonists to Griffin are in fact normal, maybe even good people. His boss, the father of Flora, encourages him and now will fund his private experiments. But Griffin is still dreaming about killing him. Another Sailor Tim looking piece in the centre. That looks like Joker or something. I'll show a picture from the Long Halloween, just so everyone knows who Sailor Tim is. Dani Minogue would be a good artist to draft for an issue of Jeff Nobles' unpopular sequel to Long Halloween that he is only doing because Sailor Tim died. Every issue has a different artist, maybe 2 of them actually paying legitimate tribute to Sailor Tim. Jeff Nobles is a scumbag, like an actual scumbag. We all had to suffer through a decade of him writing the worst comics ever because he couldn't deal with the tragic death of his son. We suffered from his very public grieving far longer than any publisher should have allowed. And then, when one of his main artistic collaborators dies, he only views it as an excuse to revive a comic because in the time since he had gotten the boot from his mediocre TV career for being a massive racist. More dislikes for that. The notable thing for, I think, many a critic would be that Griffin doesn't become invisible in issue 1. I suppose that is why we had that... Oh, fuck. Here's a pun. It is transparent why they had that opening bit. That's right, transparent writing. I like this, but we end by setting up the idea that he is going to start experimenting on a kitty cat. And I could very likely be greatly upset by a second issue if it contains feline abuse. Here is a little bit of writing from our writer, writing about writing, explaining his approach and his ideas for the Invisible Man. Maybe it means nothing to you, but having read a few of his comics, he is a better writer than seems on the surface. So I'll permit him this indulgence. It's not a knobhead making it about themselves. It's a writer talking about his methods and stuff like that. We have Dani Minogue's sketchbook, Invisible Man, obviously. And then we have him removing the bandages. And then him invisible and Flora is there. I have issue 2 already. I'll look at that if people are keen. Or they find what they've seen in this video interesting enough for me to do another video on issue 2. On the back we have all the covers available, and I didn't want to overdo it or get a dozen variants, but I do really like cover number 3. And number 2 actually, number 2 is a good piece representing the Invisible Man overall. It's like him and the Yin. Alec Rose can fuck off though. More dislikes for the video there. This is like Invisible Man Year 1. That's how I would explain it. That is probably going to be the title of the video. Invisible Man Year 1. A 5-part origin story for Griffin, the Invisible Man, based more on the movie than the novel. I'll give 7 invisible thumbs up, because I want to see how, down below, Billy Joe Jenkins will have 7 invisible thumbs in his comment. It won't let you post something with nothing there. You've got to have some characters in the box or it won't let you submit it. It won't let you post an empty comment.